The thing about crazy ideas is that they sometimes change the way we see things. This is the story of a crazy little idea that tried to outdo itself this holiday season. These are peanut harvesting carriages from Picard's Peanuts in Simcoe, Ontario. Driving past these rows about a year ago, project curator Ken Galloway immediately had an urge to paint them.
I mean, look at these things. Each one's like the perfect size for a Train Graffiti piece. Spotting these things on the road was like the exact same urge that I used to feel while like driving past graffiti spots and skate spots as a kid. That's a spot. That's a dope spot. The game for me now though is to try and find a way to like refocus these missions, to take down spots into ideas that hopefully push things forward a bit.
Ken curates for Risky Play, an art and counterculture gallery based in London, Ontario. While they're still an emerging gallery, they've already worked with some of the biggest urban art stars in the world, like El Cid from France, Hatecopy from Toronto, and most recently, Bordalo II from Portugal. You wouldn't know it, but a lot of these projects start with a somewhat awkward phone call.
Hi, Mackenzie. My name's Ken. This is pretty out there, but would you mind if I pitched you a crazy idea? I don't know why, I've just always been inspired by when Cause got that giant balloon into the Macy's Santa Claus parade. It's just always been in the back of my head. So in addition to curating 6 artists, I also pitched her the idea of running the 6-car train through the London Santa Claus parade when it was all done.
In doing so, Risky Play aimed to put a fun, family-friendly twist on the train art movement that originated out of New York, to create a holiday tradition that inspires London's young creatives to rise above. That's why they named the project the Wet Paint Express, because they wanted to create a direct line between London and global creatives. Just so we're clear, they're doing this in addition to the giant murals they've been painting over the past couple of years. The 2 projects add up to 20 murals in 2 years for the city.
Listen, we've chosen to create our own projects and our own momentum.
Because, to be honest, we feel the current mechanisms for funding public art in the city are a little broken.
And we felt the civic responsibility to push things in the right direction.
2 years ago at Mural Fest, we banked a big favor from Hatecopy by helping her paint her gigantic mural. It was time to call in that favor.
The next carriage got painted when Megan Oldhues was supposed to paint a totally different project with Risky Play, but upon arrival, discovered this.
These bugs are not going anywhere. I think we need to find something else to paint.
Done. It was time for another call.
Ken came to us with a very creative idea that would enrich the community. This is exactly the kind of social innovation that Western Fair exists to support.
So we agreed to do a 3-carriage preview exhibit. Flirt would paint her carriage live and host a workshop. And we'd hook her up with some mentorship from Hatecopy.
You've seen your work, I've seen your work. It's beautiful.
This year's Western Fair changed my life.
And that's how we raised enough money to pay each of our participating artists an honorarium.
Shout out to the Western Fair for being our biggest supporters.
The problem now was transportation. 2 days before we had to get 3 carriages to Western Fair, our logistical sponsor backed out of our handshake deal, putting our agreement with Western Fair in danger.
So we just had to pay $1,500 to a tow truck company.
We need to find a new logistical sponsor.
Yeah, or we're gonna keep bleeding money.
Ken found Albert's Flatbeds in a Google search.
Hi.
And as it turns out, Albert's young son just happened to love the Santa Claus parade.
Oh my God, thank you so much, man.
This crazy project was still afloat. But given that Risky Play already promised every cent they got from the Western Fair as honorariums, in addition to feeding and housing all the artists, they were already operating at a big loss, with a lot left to do. And of course, when you're working at a loss, there's always room for things to get worse.
Do you see this new curve in the parade route?
I thought it was supposed to be straight.
The plan was to have Albert tow 6 carriages in a row, but suddenly that plan felt really dangerous. Hearing we could use a hand, our friends at Back to the Fuchsia turned up with some Christmassy decor.
These lights are a great start, but I still think we need some help with the lighting department. Hi Nathan, you don't know me, but I saw your Instagram.
Okay.
The point of all of this is to show that creating change is possible.
At the end of the day, we're doing this project because we believe in it.
Okay, let's do this.
And ideas are only crazy until you pull them off.
We were on a roll.
If you're gonna try and muscle your way through a project like this, you need to have momentum on your side.
And then
Huron Tractor, Kevin speaking.
Huron Tractor came through for us in a big way.
But then, 2 days before the parade, the carpenter who we hired to make all of our signage for us bailed.
Yay! Looks like we get to make the signs ourselves overnight tonight. Woohoo!
The final miracle before the parade came when we were 2 power bars short.
It's starting!
Thank you so much for tuning in. We're broadcasting live from the heart of downtown London.
Okay, bad news.
We made a stupid mistake with the electrical mapping.
We're basically 2 power bars short of having any light shone on the artwork.
This year's parade theme is a Christmas light extravaganza.
None of the local stores have any, and we're out of time. The Wet Paint Express is doomed to be a dark entry in the Christmas lights extravaganza.
But I knew there were power bars in all these houses around us.
That's when Andrea started knocking on doors.
And then Andrea comes running back with 2 power bars in her hands. And then all of us start clicking it together as fast as possible.
So with absolutely 0 time left, the Wet Paint Express came online and was cleared to roll.
Now we are going to the Wet Paint Express. This not-for-profit initiative was a bit of a preview at the Western Fair back in September.
What we didn't expect was how quickly this change would take hold.
This is all about connecting local youth interested in artwork with the community, and it's teaching them how to tap into their creative talent. And do keep in mind that there will be more of the Wet Paint Express in the coming years. So that is a wonderful thing, absolutely. And it's lovely to see that.
This idea that once only stood a snowball's chance in hell has already evolved into an annual tradition and a vehicle for creating good.
So it's great that everyone gets a chance to take in those peanut carts from Picard's.
So the only question left is, what crazy ideas do you have to shake things up?